Hello. Alright, Mr. Green. We are here on the title screen for Magic the Gathering. It's mainly just information. Like this part over here is like a news feed. Yeah, see, it has different articles. If you click on it, it goes to a web page that where you can read about, like, or this takes you to the store, you know, it's like that. But there's the store. Then you have several things you can look through at the store. But anyway, uh, yeah, there if you wanted to buy T-shirts and shit, there you go. So that's what that is. This is just popular events that are there, so you can uh, go straight to them. You know, if I was playing one of those events, Sealed Magic the Gathering Avatar, The Last Airbender. So that's a draft where you get so many booster packs, Airbender packs, and you open them up and make a deck, and everybody else does the same thing. That's the best of my understanding. I really don't know exactly how it works, but you know. All right, down here's my goals. This is weekly, which is reset on today, Sunday. So uh, every win I get will give me 250 experience points. I can do that up to 15 times this week. And then experience points go towards up here, this mastery thing. I think I had told you about this before. I have not purchased the mastery. If you notice down here, it says 3,400 gems. I have 3,500. But what mastery does, if you don't pay for it, you get all these rewards. So every time you go up a level, like when I get to level 9, I get nothing. When I get to level 10, I get a booster pack. But that's just what you normally get if you don't do anything. If I paid this 3,400, I would get these and then these rewards as well, which is a lot more. I mean, you can see they got lots of stuff on there. It's really nice. Here they just give you a mythic card, Um, Here they give you, let's see, the Appa Companion, the Aang Avatar, and Card Sleeve. So, it's nice to go ahead and get the mastery, but I didn't get it for this one because I'm just not crazy about the Last Airbender stuff. I'm gonna wait for the next set to come out, and if it's stuff I'm interested in, then I'll pay my 3,400 and get this mastery pass. But that's what that is. So all that experience you earn goes towards this. I'm technically level 8 right now, and I need 775 experience points to get to the next level. So there you go. That's what that is. Go back to home page. And then you got your daily reward. Every time you win a match for today, for today you get 250 gold and 25 experience. So, and you can get up to 15. So, try to get 15 wins in a day, and then these two are the ones that come up daily where you get, something different. So today I got to cast 20 blue or green spells, which hopefully should be fairly easy. Not with the deck I'm using for your video here, but after that, I can probably get this reward and just playing 2 or 3 matches, with my green deck. So that's what that one is. This one's still resetting. I got 17 hours, and then it'll put a new goal in there. It's nice when you can have up to 3 goals at a time, but you gotta like not play for about 3 or 4 days, and then down here you'll have 3 goals. But right now I just pretty much have 1 per day because I'm playing regular. Finally, you got these over here. These were the ones I was telling you about that are stupid. Achievements like this one, if you cast 250 Elf or Hydra spells. Well, but you don't get anything. It's just an achievement. So, that doesn't mean anything to me. But that's the home page. Up here you got, that's a token that you use to get into some events. If they cost to get in, then you use a token. This tells you how many blank cards you have. Like I can get 1 rare and 3 mythics right now for nothing. And then 75, 4 commons and 87 uncommons. So that's how you get cards. So, you know, trying to get the rares and mythics. There's my coins, 9,400 gems. That's if you want to chat with somebody, and then your email, in-game email, and then that's just tutorial or information, whatever. And of course, settings. Well, this stuff over here is your different pages for the main screen. You got your profile, your deck screen. If you want to buy packs, there's your store. If you want to buy anything else, that's the mastery thing that I was showing you. And this is those achievements, where you find those to see which one of these you want to look at. So let's go on to the gameplay. We are going to do Construct Madness today. This is one you probably haven't heard a lot about, and definitely haven't seen, but it's an interesting deck. So let's get into it. All right, I have a companion in this deck. That's something you've probably never come across. A little while back, they came out with these companion cards. What it boils down to is companions have certain stipulations that you have to meet in your deck to use them. In this case, no card in my deck has more than one of the same mana symbol. So if you don't, like if I had say 2 green and 1 colorless on one of my cards, then you couldn't use this. But as long as they only have 1 actual mana symbol in their casting cost, i.e. like, well, on him up at the top there, the 4 colorless and the 1 green or red. See, he only has 1, so he obviously, because he's the companion creature, But all it does is he's a 5/5, costs a shitload to cast, and you can add 1 of every color, tap him for 1 of every color. Nice. It doesn't really apply in this deck. It's just that the way people build decks nowadays, if they can put a companion in, they'll look at their deck and see if it meets any of the stipulations required by any of the companions, and if it does, they'll just go ahead and put it in just for the extra card. And that's what I've done here. Just stuck in the extra Giganta. I've actually never drawn it. Or you don't draw them. Companions are always there. They're like in exile, and then you have to pay 3 to pull them out of exile, 3 colorless, and then it goes to your hand, and then you can play it. But you can do that at any time, as long as you got the 3 colorless to pull them out. But I've never pulled them out of exile because I never really needed him. And plus, it costs a lot to cast, so kind of, I just don't get into it too much. But that's why it's there. It's just there. I might use it sometime. You just never know. We got one off of... I should explain first. This is mostly an artifact deck. Even the lands are artifacts. So, with that being said, that's why Mox Amber is here. Mox Amber doesn't do much, but it's a 0 casting cost artifact that gets me that 1 more artifact on the battlefield. And if I need, and I have a legendary creature on the battlefield, which there's maybe I don't really have any legendaries except this. It's not even a creature, so I'm not sure it counts. But anyway, it can make mana of any color, based on how many legendaries you have, which I don't have any. It's literally just there to add another artifact to the board, so I can, you'll see, a lot of these, need it. And I got 4 Ornithopters, 0 casting cost artifact. It does a little more than the Mox Amber. I mean, it's a 0/2 flyer. I can block with it, or put something on it, give it a point of power or 2. But again, it's mostly just there because it's an artifact. and it's a blocker I can use early game if I need it. This one is also kind of like that. This is an artifact that lets you tap any other artifact. You tap this and another artifact, and you add 1 colorless to your mana pool. Not a big deal, but it does give you that 1 extra mana every now and then when you need it. Again, it's mainly in there because it's an artifact. And then down there you can channel it if it's in your hand, you don't want to cast it. You discard it, and you can do it to yourself or your opponent, but you pick a permanent card and they put it on the top of their library. So obviously this would be more of a removal, or kind of like a extra bounce spell for your opponent. So you could, if you want, you could bounce one of their creatures to the top of their library, not just their hand. So that's all it's there for, but is mainly because it's an artifact to get to the other stuff. This one, yeah, it's about the same thing. It's another artifact just to get me artifacts, but it actually has a specific use. You give a creature haste and ward. Ward makes it a little harder to kill, and haste obvious. So that comes in real handy in many situations. If I can equip a creature I just cast with this and attack the turn it came out, sometimes you can win the game. Here's another artifact that's mainly in here just to be an artifact, but its main purpose is that 1 mana ability of giving your permanents hexproof and indestructible to the end of turn. This Shadow Spear gets put in a lot of decks just for that, so that you can, protect a creature or two. That's all it's there for. We got Emry, Lurker of the Loch. Now this is actually a really good one. I've even thought about putting a couple more in here to get them more often, but it's a Merfolk Wizard 1/2. It has affinity for artifacts. Note that. That means that every artifact you have counts as 1 colorless mana. So if I have 2 artifacts on the battlefield and this in my hand, it's only going to cost me 1 blue to cast. So that's why we have so many artifacts in this, because a lot of the cards have affinity for artifacts. But anyway, you tap this sucker and you look in your graveyard, and you pick an artifact from your graveyard and you can cast it, and that comes in real handy when you need to get something back. Very handy. It's also, has affinity for artifacts, but whatever. And we got Kozilek's Unsealing. Okay, the next 2 cards are the main cards of this deck, what they're built around. Kozilek's Unsealing is an enchantment that whenever you cast a creature spell with 4, 5, or 6 mana, you create 2 0/1 Eldrazi spawn tokens. And then as you can see, each one of those you can sacrifice the token for 1 mana if you need. Then basically this enchantment sits there, and then whenever you cast a creature with 7 or greater mana, you draw 3 cards. Well, this deck is chock full of 7 or more mana creatures, so you draw 3 cards every time you cast one. These are all 7 mana. So that obviously has tremendous benefits, if I'm drawing 3 cards, at a time. I mean, a lot of times when I'm playing this, I fill up my hand and I end up having to discard quite a bit when this is on the field, because you draw a lot. Then we move on from there, and we got Simulacrum Synthesizer. Alright, this is an artifact. When it comes into play, you get to scry 2. That means you look at the top 2 cards of your library, pick which one you want to be on top, and the other one can go to the bottom. It's that simple. So you kind of get to pick your next draw a little bit. But the fun part is whenever an artifact, any artifact, that includes my artifact lands, whenever an artifact you control with mana value 3 or greater, that's where the catch comes in, it has to be artifact of 3 or greater mana, create a colorless construct artifact creature token that gets +1/+1 for each artifact you control. Well, everything in this deck except for just a couple things like this and this are artifacts. The lands are artifacts. So every time you throw a decent artifact down, you make one of these constructs that could potentially be 12, 12, 13, 13. I've had them 25, 25 before, you know. It's pretty nasty because it ends up happening quick. And of course, every time one of those comes down, you draw 3 more cards. It gets crazy. It gets real crazy at times. This is one of my removal spells. It's a removal spell with a twist, a little fun. It's a bounce spell is what it is. Literally, it just means stay on there. Stay. You can bounce one of your opponent's creatures when you cast it. You know, this is literally a unsummon. But then this goes to your graveyard. Okay, and while it's in your graveyard, whenever you cast a colorless spell that's 7 or greater mana, you can exile this card from the graveyard. When you do so, return each non-land permanent you don't control to its owner's hand. It's a board wipe, but it's a one-sided board wipe. It takes everything on the battlefield that's theirs and puts it back in their hand. It's pretty nasty. And it's fun to use it, because I would love to be able to see people's faces. Then we got our little 7 mana creatures, Mirror Enforcer. It's just a 4/4, but it has affinity for artifacts. So usually about mid-game, you're casting these for 0 mana. Same with this dude. The only difference with this is early game, if for some weird reason you got to get a 2/2 out, you can cast this for 1 red and 3 colorless for a 2/2 instead of a 4/4. That's all that prototype means. I don't think I've ever used a prototype on a prototype card before, so it's just usually better to wait a little bit and get the whole creature, you know. Then we got our Thought Monitors. Love the Thought Monitors. You know, 7 mana for a 2/2 creature is a lot, but it has affinity for artifacts, so a lot of times it's just 1 blue. Flying, and then you draw 2 cards when it enters. So, you know, more card draw. So you can get these things and this thing and this thing and go crazy. Excuse me. Alright, then we got our land base. I have 1 blue mana, 4 blue and whites, but they're artifact lands. If you notice, see, it says there in the center, artifact land, so it's an artifact. This one, however, is not. But that's why these are here, because they're artifacts. All they are is just a dual land, and they're indestructible too, which is, you know, obviously beneficial. Same with this one, it's just blue and red. Same with this one, it's just green and blue. And we got our Darksteel Citadel. It just gives you colorless. It's a colorless land, and, you know, it's indestructible. And I'll come back to that one because it's complicated. We got our Treasure Vault. You can sacrifice this land and create X treasure tokens, which basically 1 mana of any color. I haven't used it yet, but you never know when you might need the extra mana, because you just don't know. Ugin's Labyrinth is is the most important land in this deck because it just gives you colorless, 1 colorless. You know, if you use it, that's not a big deal. But what you do when you cast it, you hope you have one of your 7 mana creatures in your hand, because then what you do is you imprint that creature onto this. That means that the creature goes into exile. So let's say I had one of these in my hand. I put Ugin's Labyrinth down, and then I exile this creature under Ugin's Labyrinth. Now Ugin's Labyrinth creates 2 colorless mana instead of 1. Which sounds really complicated and aggravating, but it's not too bad. What the use of that is, on turn 1, you can have 2 mana available, which, you know, can be quite helpful. So actually, yeah, turn 1 you can have 2 available. It doesn't really matter so much to this deck because everything costs, you know, usually a little higher. I have to go over here to these to get them down, but that's the kind of the thing is getting those artifacts down as quickly as possible so that these are as big as possible. So finally, the last land's a Fomori Vault. Just gives you one colorless, or if you discard it, look at the top X cards of your library. X is equal to the number of artifacts you control, which is going to be pretty big in this deck, and put one of those cards into your hand and the rest of the bottom of your library. So it's a tutor card, a search card that lets you search up one of your artifacts if you need to. So obviously, I mean, it's a mythic rarity. So it's definitely pretty good, especially in this deck. So there you go. There's the deck for this one. Click done there. And the problem is I'm going to do this in 2 videos again because I need to go to the bathroom and I need to get me something to drink. So I'm going to stop now and I'll come back to start the gameplay. But when you watch it, I'll have them combined into one video like that. There was another one I did like that, so it seems to work okay. Alright, let's move on. Okay, I'm back. Let's play. Historic Construct Madness. I gotta come up with a new name for this deck. If you think of one, let me know. I don't know how long we're gonna wait for this one. Sometimes this one can take a while. Let's hope I get a decent hand, because this deck is fun to watch if it works. It's not when it don't. Eternal Task. Okay, let's see what we got here. A little bit of land. Minor. I'd rather have a Nugan's Labyrinth in my hand on the first one, but we'll keep this. Hello. Right. And whenever a creature enters, he gains a life. We got Closed Lakes Unsealing, so this one shows it's available, but that's because I can cast a prototype, which I don't want to do. So we'll put this one down. And doesn't look like there's anything else we can do, so hopefully next turn I'll cast this. That means he plotted a creature. He'll be able to cast it for cheaper next turn. Yeah, which one should have put down? We need to make sure. This one will be tapped, so. That was not an artifact. That's probably a bad move, man. Okay, let's get Cold Lake down. We can't cast anything yet. I thought we'd be alright. It's okay. So far, he's not pressuring us too much. Or she. Hang on. Right, my little companion here. Oh, we got Braska. This is going to make things difficult.
Phyrexia spreads.
Alright. Let's put our mirror in force. next turn we'll cast this and it'll be game over. There we go. I'm not going to cast this yet because I've already drawn quite a few cards. Give me a little blocker extra and I'm going to go next. Of course, not attack. Vraska does poison damage, I think. I don't know. Go ahead and take the bone snare. Don't take Cold Select Flaming. Or Unsealed. Oh, poop head. That's alright though, I got a lot of use.
Downtrodden rise together.
That's all I gotta do, get this down and hopefully cast a couple things. We'll be moving. Another Cold Select. Now we got a 13/13 creature. And what? We're gonna have another one. Boom. Fuck you. See if we can get rid of Vraska. That might make them block.
You pay for this.
Now you can see if I had that one, those boots, oh that's scary. I could put them on this and I could have attacked last turn. What are they going to get? They can get 3 cards with different names. Oh shit. Choose one of those cards, shuffle that card into your library. Cast the other card without paying their mana cost. Awesome. Oh, this is gonna suck. What's he gonna get? That's the way he's searching through his, cards he pulled up right now. Pick 3. Now I'm gonna pick one that he puts into his library, which is probably Omniscience. Jesus Christ. This is bad. This is real bad. Gotta take this one. That's a full board wipe that would have got rid of everything. He's probably laughing right now because he's about to work through. That card, that Omniscience, they can cast every card in their deck from 0. Like, I may not be able to go again. They can literally cast their entire hand for no mana cost. With that guy. I mean, this thing here. Yeah, look, they got a whole combo going off. We're probably screwed. I'm telling you, it's nice. Yeah, game over. Good game. I wonder how long this will take. He was doing damage to me, so I thought it was going to damage me out there. yeah, I don't know if this is one of those combos that stops or if he can stop it at some point. I don't know. But you get another reveal. Alright, I'm gonna concede, sir, because it's definitely a lost cause at this point. He could be doing that forever. Now, I will say, and you could probably see, if I'd have gotten different draws that time, we actually played pretty good, but he just got his combo out before we could do anything else. If I'd gotten better draws, like, say, if I'd have got Nugan's Labyrinth, that land that gives you 2, if I'd have gotten that in my opening hand, and, you know, especially if I'd have gotten that synthesizer that makes the constructs. If I'd have gotten that in my hand much earlier, you know, we probably could have beat them. That deck, basically, a deck like that, you're just trying to beat them to their combo, you know. So obviously I didn't that time. All right, we'll go to the next match. Sorry, I'm lighting a cigarette. Alright, let's see if we can win this time. Let's see, well, we got this. We got Ugin's Labyrinth. We don't have a lot of land. I guess that could be a good idea. Alright, what we got here? This. Should be able to catch the synthesizer next turn, but it makes it real subject to removal. So I won't be able to use it for a couple of turns. What's this thing? Death Touch, Ninjutsu, Player Conjure, or I don't know. So I guess I'll go ahead and put the synthesizer down. I don't do anything right now. That second one, there we go. If I can make it to the next turn with this thing still on the board, cast this. Wow, he wasted that on a ornithopter? Shit. He really wanted that beetle. Alright. I can also bounce it if I need to. Let's see. Let's get this one down. Bounce? I think I should bounce. Yeah, because then I can use this later to do a full foreplay. So I'm going to go ahead and use it. Catch the ornithopter. Make this a 0. There we go. We won one! Yay! Woo-hoo! Got my first win of the day. 250 gold and 275 spirit. Yay. Okay. And look, I casted 4 green or blue spells. Blue, obviously. Alright, let's play again. This will be the 3rd match. Hope we get good stuff. I probably should put more of those bounce spells. Oh, we're playing against Ugin. That's going to require this deck to play faster. I don't know if we're going to be able to do it, but what happens? We have to try to beat them to Ugin. Let's see, 1 mana is not going to be much help, so cast this half queen. Oh, seriously? Damn it. Hate that shit. Alright. Is 1 extra mana gonna help me? Not really. There down. Yeah, we're not doing so good. I'd say by now.
The mask is scary,
Is,
but underneath,
yes.
I'm just a normal. A mind is a
Discard a
terrific
card.
thing
That's
to
easy.
waste.
Yeah, we've wasted way too much time here. Ugh. Well, the most important one for me to get down is Kozilek's Unsealing. Damn it. I don't have enough to cast my mirror. Shit. We're so screwed.
Empty your
Alright, we're
mind.
going to discard this one. Pretty nice little combo, I like it. Come on now. He's wanting to remove something. But what am I going to do with that? Son of a bitch. Good, I'm gonna keep the top monitor down. Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna get these down. Alright. That's all I can do. I expect Ugin to be making his appearance fairly soon. Oh, maybe they don't have. They're not using Ugin because he's a multi-colored card and they're using all black, it looks like. So, okay. So I don't know what this guy does. Goes off. Whenever opponent discards a card. I don't even know. I ain't got time to read that and pay attention. Alright, what are we going to
Let me
discard?
pick your brain for a
Get rid
minute.
of another one of them. Still didn't get shit. Now we can get it going, maybe. One more ball. No. One more reaper. Do I do another one? Got it. That was the last of my mana. Alright, now you put an order pop. Oh, we won. He didn't block. Sweet. There you go. We gave him a pretty good ass whooping. Alright, there we go. More experience and coins. And there's 3 games with the Construct Madness deck, which I'm hoping you can help me rename because Construct Madness is kind of stupid. So, anyway, there you go. Hope you enjoyed. You actually won a couple. So, hey, there's that. I'll talk to you later.